There's something I've noticed as I've gotten a little older. Those little things we used to take for granted, like waking up feeling refreshed or having steady energy throughout the day, don't always come as easily as they once did. Maybe you felt it too. That moment when you climb into bed at night, hoping for a good night's sleep, only to wake up feeling like you barely rested at all. Or perhaps you notice your mind isn't as sharp in the morning as it used to be, or your body just doesn't have the same spring in its step. But here's the good news. Small, simple changes to your evening routine can make a big difference in how you feel the next day, and even in the long run. That's what we're going to talk about today. Because after 60, the right habits before bed don't just help you sleep better, they help you live better. More energy, clearer thinking, even a brighter mood. And the best part? None of this is complicated. In fact, you might already be doing some of it without even realizing how powerful it really is. So let's start with the first habit, something so simple, yet so often overlooked. Wind down with a screen-free ritual. We've all done it, scrolled through our phones or watched TV right up until the moment we close our eyes. But here's the thing, those screens? They're tricking your brain into thinking it's still daytime. The blue light they emit suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. And when melatonin gets disrupted, so does the quality of your rest. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up your favorite shows or stop checking in with family. But try this. About an hour before bed, put the screens away. Instead, try something gentler. Maybe reading a book, a real one, not an e-reader, listening to soft music, or even just sitting quietly with a cup of caffeine-free tea. This isn't just about avoiding screens. It's about giving your brain a signal that the day is winding down. And when you do that, you'll find yourself drifting off more easily and waking up feeling more refreshed. The power of a consistent bedtime. Now let's talk about timing. You might think, I go to bed when I'm tired. What's the big deal? But here's what's fascinating. Our bodies love routine, especially as we get older. When you go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day, yes, even on weekends, you're training your internal clock to work for you, not against you. Think of it like this. If you eat lunch at noon every day, your body starts getting hungry right around then, doesn't it? Sleep works the same way. When your body knows what to expect, it prepares for sleep more efficiently, meaning deeper rest and more energy the next day. So if you've been going to bed at wildly different times, try picking a window, say between 10 and 10:30, and sticking to it. It might feel a little rigid at first, but give it a week or two, and you'll likely notice a difference in how you feel. And speaking of preparation, let's move on to something that might surprise you. The evening hydration balance. You've probably heard how important it is to drink enough water during the day, and it's true. But when it comes to hydration and sleep, timing matters. If you drink a big glass of water right before bed, you're almost guaranteed to wake up in the middle of the night. On the other hand, if you cut off fluids too early, you might wake up dehydrated, leading to dry mouth or even headaches. So here's the trick. Sip water throughout the evening, but slow down about an hour before bed. And if you're someone who tends to wake up thirsty, try keeping a small glass of water by your bedside, just enough to wet your mouth without sending you straight to the bathroom. It's a tiny adjustment, but it can make those nighttime interruptions far less frustrating. Now, these first few habits are just the beginning, because what you do in the evening doesn't just affect your sleep. It sets the tone for your entire next day. And in the next part, we'll dive into even more ways to make sure you wake up feeling your best. Because after 60, every day is a gift, and with the right habits, you can make sure you're getting the most out of each one. It's funny, sometimes the smallest changes can have the biggest impact on how we feel. And when it comes to life after 60, a great day doesn't start when you wake up, it starts the night before. That's why we've already talked about winding down without screens, sticking to a consistent bedtime, and finding that perfect hydration balance. But there's more to it than that. Because what you do or don't do in those evening hours doesn't just affect your sleep. It affects your mood, your energy, even how sharp your mind feels the next day. So let's keep going with a few more habits that can make all the difference. Light stretching or gentle movement. Now, I'm not talking about a full workout right before bed. That would probably wake you up more than wind you down. But a few minutes of gentle stretching or even some slow, mindful movements can work wonders. As we get older, our muscles and joints tend to stiffen up, especially if we've been sitting for most of the day. And that stiffness can make it harder to get comfortable at night, leading to more tossing and turning. Try this. About 20 or 30 minutes before bed, take just 5 minutes to stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, or do some easy seated twists. Even something as simple as pointing and flexing your feet while sitting in a chair can help loosen things up. The key is to keep it gentle, no pushing or straining. You're not trying to build flexibility here, you're just helping your body relax. And when your muscles are more relaxed, sleep comes easier. The right evening snack, or maybe none at all. The age-old question, to snack or not to snack before bed. Some people swear by a little something before they turn in, while others find that eating too late keeps them up. So what's the answer? Well, it depends. If you go to bed hungry, that rumbling stomach might keep you awake. But if you eat a big, heavy meal too close to bedtime, your body will be too busy digesting to settle into deep sleep. The trick is finding the middle ground. If you need a little something, go for light and easy, maybe a small handful of nuts, a banana, or even a bit of oatmeal. These foods contain nutrients like magnesium or tryptophan, which can actually support better sleep. On the other hand, if you've had a satisfying dinner and don't feel hungry, there's no need to force a snack. Listen to your body. It usually knows best. Preparing for tomorrow, without the stress. Here's something I've learned over the years. A peaceful morning starts the night before. Because when you wake up already feeling behind, it sets the tone for the whole day. But when you take just a few minutes in the evening to prepare, you give yourself the gift of a calmer, smoother morning. This doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's laying out your clothes so you're not scrambling to find something to wear. Or writing down the 1 or 2 most important things you want to do tomorrow so they're not swirling in your head as you try to sleep. Even something as simple as setting the coffee pot the night before can make the morning feel less rushed. The idea isn't to plan out every minute. It's just to take care of the little things so your brain can relax. Because when you're not mentally running through tomorrow's to-do list as you're trying to fall asleep, you'll drift off faster and sleep more soundly. Now, these habits might seem small on their own, but when you put them together, they create a kind of ripple effect. Better sleep leads to more energy, which leads to better days, and so on. And in the next part, we'll wrap things up with a few final habits that can really tie it all together. Because after 60, every good day is a victory, and it all starts with what you do the night before. Isn't it amazing how a few thoughtful habits can completely change how you feel? We've covered so much already, from putting away screens to gentle stretching, finding that perfect evening snack, and setting yourself up for a stress-free morning. But before we wrap things up, there's one last habit I want to share with you, one that might just be the most powerful of all: the power of gratitude and relaxation. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Gratitude? Really? How is that going to help me sleep better? But here's the thing. Our minds and bodies are deeply connected. If you go to bed with worries on your mind, your body tenses up, your heart rate stays elevated, and sleep becomes harder to find. But when you take just a few minutes to shift your focus to the good things, no matter how small, it sends a signal to your whole system that it's okay to relax. Try this. Before you turn out the light, take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Then, think of 1 or 2 things from your day that made you smile. Maybe it was a phone call with a loved one, a delicious meal, or even just the way the sunlight came through the window in the afternoon. It doesn't have to be anything big, just something that made the day a little brighter. When you make this a habit, something beautiful happens. Instead of lying there replaying the day's stresses, you're training your mind to end the day on a positive note. And that makes it so much easier to drift off peacefully. Putting it all together. Now, you might be wondering, do I really have to do all of these things every single night? And the answer is no. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Maybe tonight, you'll try turning off the TV a little earlier. Tomorrow, you might add in some light stretching. The key is to find what works for you and build from there. Because here's the truth. You deserve to wake up feeling refreshed. You deserve days filled with energy and clarity. And it all starts with how you treat yourself the night before. So why not give it a try? Pick 1 or 2 of these habits and see how they make you feel. You might be surprised at the difference they can make. And if you do try them, I'd love to hear how it goes. Leave a comment below and let me know what's one small change you'll make tonight. Your experiences might just inspire someone else to take that first step too. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on living your best life after 60. Because every year is a gift, and with the right habits, you can make sure you're enjoying each one to the fullest.